Now look, you're gonna have to pay attention here, well, you should always anyway, but because this happens completely within the calculator, there is no work. When you go to do your check your understanding, you won't need a whiteboard. There's no steps, there's no work, but you have to know what, I know that's good, right? But you have to know what buttons to hit in the calculator, because if you don't, then you can't do it at all. All right, so make sure you're listening to me. Now, we actually did already do part of this already this year. So if you remember, and I think you guys will, you guys do actually do pretty well with this. So looking at data, do you see how these points roughly make a line? Like if you were to connect them, it roughly makes a line. Do you see that? All right. And then this one roughly makes a downward line. This one is what's called no correlation. There's no connection at all in the data. So that would be nothing. But this is what we call linear. Linear, linear. In other words, it makes a line roughly. Now for these ones, do you see how if you connect them, this roughly makes a U shape and this roughly makes a U shape, right? So instead, it's like close enough. Instead of linear, that is quadratic, which is the unit that we're doing right now, okay? Now, sometimes it's really hard to tell, in which case you could try both and see which one works better. So which one of these do you think is better, the linear or the quadratic? Yeah, so not this one, but this one. Listen to me, if you aren't sure, you look at the ends of it and see where each end is headed. The middle doesn't matter so much as the ends, because you use it to make predictions on each end. Are you writing this down with me? We haven't even hardly done anything yet. Now, these are the instructions. Again, we've done this already this year. You go to Desmos, you click the plus sign. Very good. I know, we're going to do some problems together. You're going to click the plus sign and choose table. And then you're going to enter all your data. That's the annoying part, because you have to type it all in and it has to be correct. If you hit one number wrong, it's not going to work. Okay, so you have to be paying attention. You're going to click the magnifying glass. Do you remember this? All right. And then you're going to type in y equals mx plus b, but you need ones after the x and y, and you change it to the tilde, the little squiggly thing. So this one is for linear. You've done all that before. This is the only new thing. If it's the U shape, you're going to type this one for quadratic. It's ax squared plus bx plus c, ax squared plus bx plus c, but you have ones after the x's and y, and you change it to the little tilde. So same thing, okay? We're gonna do this first page and then I'll give you your halfway through breaks. I know we've done a bunch already. I need for you to just watch though. If you do not watch, you're not gonna understand what's going on. Now for this first one, can you guys look? I typed it in already for the sake of time. Are you looking? Do you see how I have it all typed in? Now I'm gonna hit the magnifying glass. Are you looking? Do you see the magnifying glass right here? Now we have to make a decision if it's linear or quadratic. I get that there's a little bump in here, but basically it roughly makes a line. Do you see that? And again, if you're not sure, it's roughly. Do you see how the ends would be like a line? If you're not sure, just look at what the ends are doing. So since we decided it's linear, and is that a question on your paper? I think it might be. Is that a question? Okay, so is the data linear or quadratic? We're going to circle linear. And unless you're told otherwise, round to one decimal place. Okay, so what I'm going to type in here, are you looking? Y equals mx plus b. And I'm going to go change two things. What are they? What do I have to put in here?
The tilde and the one.
Yeah, I'm going to put tilde. Oops, not that. Tilde, and I'm going to put ones after the variables, which is the x and y. Oh, look, do you see how it showed up? Now, if you're in the back, I know this is kind of small, but do you see how it says m equals and b equals right there? What's that?
Like the one after a one.
You just hit a one. It does it for you. Yeah, just hit the one. Sorry, I didn't understand the question. You just hit the one, it does it for you. So if you're in the back, you might not be able to see that real well, but it says 0.2 for M, and it says negative 456.0 for B. You guys see that? So what you're going to write on your paper is y equals 0.2x minus 456.0. Let me go back to make sure I copied that right. Yeah, 0.2x negative 456. I can't have both screens up there at the same time because I only have one projector. Okay, so I have to go back and forth. Now, the next one says interpret the meaning of the slope. Listen, you have to have the word per in there. It's something per something else. Like driving a car, miles per hour, that's a rate of change, right? So interpret the meaning of the slope. Let's go back and read this and look at what's going on. So it says, as years go by, you see how years are going by, time and stuff? Income in billions. Now, this isn't like my money. I'm not a billionaire. It's money for what? Read. Can you read the thing? Can you read? What is money made by who?
United States.
Movies. So like the movie industry. So what's happening to their income? What's happening to it?
It's getting bigger.
Getting bigger. And it's getting bigger by, do you see what your slope is? 0.2 billion dollars per year. So that's, so we're gonna say income goes up, hold on a second, 0.2 billion dollars per year. And the important word there is per. When you interpret a slope, it's something per something else. And you don't have to make it up. It's all from the table. Like if you just read, it's going to tell you what to put. Like don't make it up. Okay, now the point of doing that is so you can make a prediction. We're going to predict the amount of money made by movies in 2010. 2010 is a year. So look back. Is years X or Y? Are you listening to me? Is years X or Y? X. And if you want to label, you can. X, Y. Years is X. So I'm going to type in X equals 2010, and we're going to find what the Y is. And it's going to be in billions of dollars if you want to put your dollar sign. Go ahead.
X usually time.
Usually it is time. And in this case, it is time in years. Sometimes it's not though. That's a very good question. It depends on what the scenario is you're talking about. Now, are you looking? Look, I'm going to go down to the third box down here. I'm going to type X equals 2010. Do you see how it put this vertical line on my graph? Where do I want to click?
In the intersection.
Intersection, good. And it is $10.4 billion. And then you want to check, does that make sense? That makes sense because the amount of money was going up. If you got a smaller number, you would be like, oh, something's probably not right. All right. Now we're going to do a second one. I need for you to watch. I'm going to share my screen. All I need for you to do is look, because these are no work. Now you need to clear it all out and start completely over. See how I got rid of everything? I'm going to hit the plus sign. Do you see the plus sign right there? When you're taking a test, you cannot call me over and go, what buttons do I hit? Because what I'm testing you on is what buttons do you hit? Are you looking? All right, plus sign, and then I'm going to choose table. All right, so that was just the numbers 1 through 7. Can you read? What is this about? Like, I see that it's money, but like, what? All right, so what's happening to the car's value, guys? Does that make sense? Yeah, unless you have some sort of like vintage car or whatever that is like special for some reason, the value is going to go down. All right, I don't see any data, so what am I going to click? Magnifying glass, you see that? Does it look like a line or does it look like a U shape? That means linear, so I'm going to type right here. Y equals mx plus b. I'm going to change the equals to the tilde. And I'm going to put the ones in here. You hold on just one second, or you can grab a seat back there and I'll get with you in just 1 second. All right. So I know if you're in the back, it's kind of small to see it, but if you're in the front, can you see these numbers here? Are you looking? M and B. It says M is negative 2.5 and B is, what is that? 26.7. So we have. I like how I got this far before you realized that, but yes, we have. And so that's what you're going to put on your paper. It told me those two numbers. Did I do any work? No, but you have to know what buttons to press. And if you hit one button wrong, it's not going to work. So you have to be vigilant and pay attention, right? Now it says, use the equation to predict how much the car will cost when it's 10 years old. Years is the age of the car, that's X. Typically they give you X, all right? So I'm going to plug in X equals 10. We're going to find Y, which is going to be in dollars, cash money. And all I need for you to do is look it. And what are we expecting it to be, more or less?
Less.
Less, good, all right. So here's my vertical line. They made it green there. Do you see how it came out to 1.714? The car is not worth $1 though. It's 1.714, but the dollars was in,
1,000.
house, so it's what, perfect, good, yeah.
It's good. 10-year-old.
You're understanding the, like, see what's going on? All right, now it says interpret the slope and the y-intercept. So the slope, look at, do you see how our slope was negative 2.5?
Yes.
All right, that means that the value, and did I make up value? No, I read it off the table. Value goes down or up? Goes down, not $2.5, it's in thousands, so it's $2,500. Oh, and what's that really important word I have to put?
Per.
Yeah, per year. Value goes down. It came out to 2.5, but it's 2,500 per year. Now the y-intercept was 26.7. Look at 26.7. That means that's where we started. So that means the car cost how much at the beginning? Not $26.
26,000. Or no,
26,700. Okay, so the car, can you guys listen to me? We're almost to our break time, but I need for you to focus. And I'm gonna wait till you've all written this down before anyone can have a break. All right, I know, I'm asking for a whole lot here, right? The car cost 26,700 new. Your y-intercept is where you started. What's that other word we used for the start? It began with an I. Do you remember that? Initial. Initial cost was 26,700. Cars cost more than that nowadays, though. Usually it would be like in the 30s. Okay, so go ahead and flip over. I need for you to just look. There's no work for these, but you have to pay attention, okay? You have to clear all of this out and start over. What do I hit to get started? What button?
Plus.
Oh, plus sign. And then table, and then I'm going to type this in. I know watching your teacher type in these buttons is not like super interesting here, but that's kind of the way it is. Like, I mean, life is like that sometimes, all right? You guys should watch and tell me if I mistype something. Oh, maybe I should type something wrong on purpose to make sure you're paying attention. Stop that.
It's looking like quadratic.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me hit the magnifying glass. Oh, do you see how it's a U shape?
Yes.
Okay, so is that a question on your paper? Good, so you're gonna get one right. Look, quadratic. This is the new thing. Remember how you said, hey, didn't we do this before? This one we didn't. This is new, all right? Because it's a U shape. So when it says find the curve of best fit, instead of y equals mx plus b, look, it's gonna be y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Do you see how I typed that? Ax squared plus bx plus c. And you're gonna go back and do the exact same things. You have to put ones after the x's and the y. And then change that to the tilde. Will you have what?
That's
No, ax squared plus bx plus c, you have to know.
Oh.
Kind of like how you have to know y equals mx plus b. All right, now if you're in the back, it's kind of small, but can you guys see right here how it says A, B, and C?
Yes.
All right, I can't have both screens up here at the same time, so I'm going to write it down and then you can copy it from me. It's negative 0.1 for A, and then 2.1 for B, and 4.2 for C. So it will look like that. It gave me negative 0.1 for A, it's ax squared. It gave me 2.1 for B. It's ax squared plus bx plus c. It will look like a trinomial.
Go back and see.
I know I can't have both screens up at the same time and I had to stop a pass, so just relax. Oh, I didn't call you anything.
Why did Pythagoras have to actually make this one?
All right, now look, it says use the equation, shush, to predict the height of the ball at 18 feet. So what's going on is like a ball got thrown up in the air and it comes back down. So you have like the distance horizontally that it goes and then the distance vertically. They gave us the 18 feet distance that it went. Will you please stop talking over me, guys? And then it says find the height. So they gave us x is 18. We're going to find y. Let me share my screen again. So I'm going to type down here x equals 18. Click on the.
Wait, I can figure it out without this.
And then what do we get for our Y value?
4.013,
Yep.
031.
4.0, okay? And it's feet.
Dang it, I was trying to figure it out.
Well, I like how you're interested in predicting it, but we're gonna just use the calculator, all right? Now, if you guys are paying attention and no one talks over me, I'll stop after this one. If you talk over me, I'm gonna make you do another one, all right?
Right.
So let's stay quiet and pay attention. This one is about pumpkin tossing. So you've got this pumpkin tosser, look at that, it's like launching pumpkins. So you have the angle in degrees that it's, angled at, and then the distance that it goes. Now, before I type this in, do you think it's gonna be linear or quadratic?
Quadratic, because it goes up.
Pumpkin goes up and come out. Is that what you were gonna say? Yeah, okay. So it is gonna be quadratic. Let me go ahead and type it in. You have to clear everything out. If you're like, no, I don't. Please, just clear it all out, hit table, we're gonna start over. All right, so what is this? 20, 30, 50, 60, 70. All right, and then your pumpkins get launched. 372. I think we should make a pumpkin launcher and test this out. Be
Wouldn't
more
that just be
fun.
a catapult?
Yeah, it's basically just a catapult. All right, I don't see any data. Now, what button do I hit since I don't see it?
The magnifying.
Magnifying glass. Do you see how it's a U shape?
Yes.
Good. All right. Now I'm going to type in here what? Y equals what? You have to know this.
Y, the tilde are equals.
I'll go back and change that.
AX1.
AX
Plus-
squared.
Plus BX plus C.
Good.
Plus C.
Perfect. So you guys got it. Now I'm going to go back and add the ones after the variables and change it to a tilde. Then it shows up. Now, if you're in the back, I know you can't see these numbers. They're kind of small. I'm going to just write it down on the paper. I can't have both screens up here at the same time. A is negative 0.3. B is 22.6. And C is 23.0. I know I'm going to do it. I just can't have them both up there at the same time. Saying that. So A came out to negative 0.3, B came out to 22.6, C came out to 23. So it's AX squared plus BX plus C. I guess it could, in theory. I don't know. Yeah. Now it says, how far did it go? Launched at an angle of 80. Angle is X. All the ones on here were X, but sometimes they give you Y and ask for X. So just be aware, sometimes it's backwards. So X is 80. I'm going to go back to my calculator. I'm going to type in X equals 80. Now, look, do you see how I can't see? Are you looking? Do you see I can't see where it intersects? I'm going to have to move this a little bit so that I can find it. Sometimes you might have to move that. It's 157.2, and I think it was feet. Was it feet?
Yes.
Now, don't stop listening to me. I want this to end up on the recording so that you all hear this, or if somebody's absent, they hear this. All right. This is your check your understanding. Delta math is really annoying with these problems, and I just made my own. Okay. So you're going to do these on paper. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to open Schoology for unit 10. And I have it set up so that you can enter your answers. And I think I gave you 2 or 3 attempts. Okay. But do it on paper first and then go type it in.